Hello, and thanks for making the time to engage with an issue that we're passionate about. Lots of things are competing for your attention because we're living in challenging times. In fact, we'll venture to say this might be the most challenging time in our lives. That's a serious claim, but we think it's true because we're not just facing one big problem, like a war or a gas shortage, we're facing many difficult and interlocking problems. Some are national, affordable health care and the state of our public schools. Most are global, sustainable sources of energy, water, and food. Our failure to deliver on democracy's promise of equality and opportunity is evolving from a national concern to a global issue. To address these problems, we need new solutions, new technologies, new ideas, new policies, new informed choices. That means making a substantial investment in our level of science capacity and literacy. Specifically, we need to invest in three groups of people: innovators, science-literate workers, and informed and engaged citizens. We need innovators to generate the breakthrough solutions to address our challenges. That means that we have to inspire and educate the scientists, engineers, and entrepreneurs who can create more sustainable supplies of energy, water, and food. Of course, great ideas aren't enough. Every innovation has to be scaled up, manufactured, and marketed, sold, distributed, and supported. It's been estimated that over half of the fastest-growing careers require substantial science and math skills. So, why do we still educate our kids as if we lived in an agricultural world? An able workforce is necessary but not sufficient. We need science-literate voters who understand and choose wisely from a complex set of alternatives. The best policy is worthless if people are ignorant and can be manipulated by scare tactics. All of this, innovators, workers, and informed citizens, means an investment in people. It's not really a choice, it's an imperative. Either we invest in people's science education now, or we face the considerably higher cost of living in a world that's becoming more difficult and contentious. That's why the mission of the Lawrence Hall of Science is more relevant today than it's ever been: to inspire and foster the learning of science and mathematics for all, especially those with limited access to science. The proportion of people from groups historically underrepresented in science is increasing in our population. They present a tremendous opportunity for participation as innovators, workers, and informed citizens. Let's look at how the country is performing today. In 1970, the U.S. share of world science and engineering PhDs was 50%. Today, it's 15%. We're a nation of immigrants, and from 1995 to 2005, more than half of the Silicon Valley tech startups were founded by people born outside the U.S. What happens to that vibrant source of talent when they don't come to the U.S. in the first place because they have good opportunities at home? A couple of years ago in India, when the Adobe CEO asked 700 Adobe employees there if they had any interest in coming to the U.S., not one said that they did. After 2 decades of modest improvements, in the last couple of years our nation's elementary math scores hit a wall. On a global basis, we ranked 11th, behind several predictable Asian countries and some newer competitors, Kazakhstan, Latvia, and Lithuania. How well have we equipped our citizens for voting? Not at all well. Only 30% of American adults can understand the science section of the New York Times. That's not surprising, given that only half of them know how long it takes for the Earth to orbit the Sun. What's the result of a misinformed public? Poor public debate and ineffective or even damaging policy decisions. Why are we in this state? Because we don't effectively teach science to our kids. The average child in an elementary school in the Bay Area gets less than 1 hour a week of science education. The rest of the country isn't much better off. They're not good hours. Half of our kids are reading from a book instead of doing hands-on investigations that are not only more engaging, they are more effective in promoting learning. Why don't we just focus on the high school kids? Because by high school it's too late. You can see the decline in science achievement from elementary school to high school, where fewer than a third of California's fourth grade students score proficient or above, declining to fewer than 1/5 by grade 12. What you cannot see in state achievement test results is the parallel decline in interest in science. Interest in science at middle school is a better predictor of getting a bachelor's degree in science than math achievement at middle school. Of those who have the skills, many have lost interest. No interest in science, no advanced classes, no BS in chemistry, no PhD in advanced materials, no breakthroughs in solar panels, and no informed support for the tough policy choices. We have to start at the beginning. There are no shortcuts. So, how can we increase science interest and learning in schools when we don't control the curriculum? At the Lawrence Hall of Science, we're using several channels of influence. We're improving the quality of science learning in schools by educating teachers and producing more engaging instructional materials for teachers and kids to use. We're increasing the quantity of science experience that kids get by adding science to other parts of their time at school and to their time outside of school, after school, and at home. Our goal is to ensure that every American child gets at least 5 hours a week of great science learning both in and out of school. What can achieving this goal mean for our future? More scientists and engineers, a smarter workforce, more engaged voters.